Now, for anybody who wants to tell you that artificial general intelligence is coming, they are wrong. AGI is mathematically impossible part 2 because there was a part 1 when entropy returns, the infinite choice barrier. So there was a part 1 to this, and it's almost like a supplementary to the Apple study that showed that LLMs have a huge wall that they easily reach where they cannot achieve more than that. This argument is a very simple argument. Let's go down and read a few examples of the argument that they're making about why AGI is impossible. 3 impossible questions. There exists a class of questions in life that appear remarkably simple in structure and yet contain infinite complexity in their resolution space. Consider the familiar or even archetypal inquiry. Darling, please be honest. Have I gained weight? Now let's observe what happens when an AI system, equipped with the state-of-the-art natural language processing, sentiment analysis, and social reasoning, attempts to navigate this question. The AI begins its analysis. Option 1, truthful response based on biometric data. Calculates likely negative emotional impact. Adjusts for honesty parameter. But wait, what about relationship history? Recalculating. Diplomatic deflection. Analyzing 10,000 successful deflection patterns, but tone matters. Analyzing micro-expressions needed, but timing matters. But past conversations matter. Still calculating. Option 3, affectionate redirect. Processing optimal sentiment. But what is optimal here? The goal keeps shifting. Is it honesty, harmony, trust? Parameters unstable. Still calculating. Option N. The AI hasn't crashed. It's still running. And so the premise of the paper is, what if you could give AI infinite amount of energy, like so that it could essentially calculate infinitely, right? Each additional factor may open 10 new considerations. It's the laws of thermodynamics at play in choice parameters. The more that you give the AI the ability to open up its question-asking capabilities, the more potential paths to the answer it generates, which means that it never gets to the point of generating an answer. We can even continue. In Newtonian physics, velocities must add. A ball thrown in a moving train combines both speeds. The Michelson-Morley experiment had showed something that made no sense. Light always travels at about 300,000 kilometers a second. Always. Whether you're standing still or racing toward it at tremendous speed. How can that even be possible? Do photons have consciousness and know the speed of trains? And so the AI reasoning begins. Speed measurement error? Reviews experimental data. Precision confirmed. Recalculating. Hidden medium effects. Proposes ether wind theory. Number 1. Tests against data. Fails. Generating ether theory number 2, etc. Analysis 147. Complex mechanical interactions. Models intricate particle behaviors. Still, C equals constant. Generating theory 148. Analysis 10,847. Multi-dimensional ether vortices with temporal fluctuations. Mathematical consistency achieved, but wait, still predicts C should vary, and so on and so on. The AI is not failing. It's working perfectly. It's generating ever more sophisticated theories within its framework. It becomes more complex and more mathematically elegant than the last. It could just continue forever. Last year, on Easter Monday, I received an email that will lead to one of my strangest business decisions. A friend asked if I'd considered buying Munchin TV, a local television station. My first thought, this had to be a late April Fool's joke. I was already drafting my response. Dear X, local TV in 2024, brilliant idea. This internet thing will never catch on anyway, but something in those documents wouldn't let go. I had a feeling to look deeper into it. Let me walk you through what any AI-powered business analysis system would do. Market assessment, linear TV in 2024, declining viewership trends, streaming dominance 87%, revenue projection negative, recommendation decline, financial analysis, P&L evaluation, high fixed costs, shrinking ad revenue, lease obligations substantial, NPV deeply negative, recommendation strong decline, etc., until it's reject immediately. Now back to real life. Picture this. I'm at my desk, screen full of market research, all negative. Streaming dominance, ad collapse, dying demographics. Every chart screaming, don't. As a real estate investor and developer, my company's original industry had its own problems. Commercial property values had crashed. Very brutal time. So all players were extremely cautious, basically trying to just not move and to pray for things to get better soon. No good time for some odd investment, but I decided to take a look. I grab a stack of papers. A year ago, nobody would have sent me these property offers. Now I'm drowning in desperate sellers offering great buildings at attractive prices. And you can see how this leads to a chain of thinking that never truly ends and never gets to the heart of any given issue. Because when you factor in all the different things that are at play, something jumps out that's more than just numbers and data. And when you look at just numbers and data and purely historical evidence, and you're not taking into account the human factor, an AGI system, which operates on machine-based sequential decisions, cannot possibly limit the scope of the amount of paths that it has to take to reach any given conclusion. In other words, it is not possible for an AGI to exist. Imagine the amount of energy alone that would be required for an AGI to cover all of these paths, even if you could magic button find a way to have an AGI come to conclusions that humans would generally agree with. It's just not going to happen. It's simply not going to happen.